What is going on, YouTube? Happy June. We're out of May. Thank God, getting out of that godforsaken month. Terrible start with that month of May there, and obviously we've been struggling a little bit out of the gates here in this month of May. Obviously, April, early May was good. Towards the end, we're on that little bit of a struggle bus here, but happy to see the calendar flip. Happy to be heading into today's slate. Fresh, right? We're worried about this, worried about these games. I'm going to be doing things a little bit differently now. I feel like I've been on the right side of a lot of plays. They just are not hitting in terms of if I'm doing a hit parlay, because I think a guy's going to struggle. Maybe I find a different way to attack that type of attack that game. And I think today is a great day to go with the plays that I'm rolling with. It'll be a little bit different combos today, and I really, really like them. So let's get right on into it. Unfortunately, we dip into the red after we get the reverse. Braves did not hit. Goldschmidt got his hit. Kikuchi had 4 strikeouts. He had 9 2-strike counts and was unable to strike out the worst left-handed hitting team in the MLB, my Brewers. Just really tough to watch. But we're back. We're ready. We're going to cook today's slate. I'm heading over to DraftKings right now. Let me pull up these. I feel like I did better when I showed you guys the exact lines that I'm using and exact numbers. So I'm going to do that today. I'm going to Chris Sale under 18.5 outs. That is under pitcher props. And I'm going to Connor Seabold to not record a win at minus 330. These together, minus 109. Pretty good price for what I'm looking at here. Obviously, most of the bulk is going to be on Chris Sale, about minus 200. Obviously, we don't play those straight, but it's a really good parlay piece in my opinion. Chris Sale under in 7 of 10 games so far this year. I think he absolutely mows down the Reds, personally. I really do. But the Reds have been a little bit of feisty, right? And they've been striking out a lot, but they've been walking a lot, right? Over the last 15 days, they are the second best hitting team in the MLB at a 287 batting average. Obviously, Boston plays up to power. You have a 799 OPS over the last 15. They do have a 25% K rate, but they also do have the 5th most amount of walks. So I think that they can work Sale's pitch count. I think he could have a phenomenal game. I think he can go 6 innings, give me about 7-8 Ks, and still get us there, right? We've seen Chris Sale, probably his best start of the year, Minnesota, right? Obviously, Minnesota is terrible. 11 strikeouts there, right? Only won 6 innings, right? Because he's working that pitch count up. Obviously, if we're seeing him get to the point of where they're up in this game, which I kind of assume they're going to play pretty well here against Hunter Green, especially in a ballpark that gives up a ton of power. He could only do what he did against Arizona, right? 5 innings, threw really well, 3 strikeouts, did great, got the win, but only threw 73 pitches, right? We've even seen him in a couple of those really, really good games where he pitched against the Cardinals and San Diego, hit this in 2 of his last 3. That's one of the reasons why I think this number is where it's at. I thought it would be 17.5, but sign me up for this 18.5. Like I said, I think he's only those 2 games, 2 of those last 3 games, or 2 that he hit against St. Louis and the Padres. Padres, one of the worst hitting teams over the last month in the MLB. And he mowed them, right? But those are the only 2 times that he went 100 pitches, was when he was perfect, absolutely perfect, lights out, 10 and 11 fly balls, right, in those 2 games. So I think we're going to see the Reds try to work the pitch count, try to get to that bullpen. Obviously, Boston's bullpen is not as good as Chris Sale. Definitely the options coming out are definitely going to be way lower. Connor Seabold not to record the win. He hasn't recorded 5 innings in his last 3 starts. Prior to that, he was throwing 3 innings, 2 innings, 2 innings, 1 inning, kind of mixing in and out of the bullpen there. So Cincy, Texas, Mets were the 3 ones before. He went 5 against my Brewers. They still didn't win. He went 5 against the Pirates. They just absolutely unloaded. I believe that was against Rich Hill, and they won like 10-1 was his only win. I love this Arizona lineup. I've been backing them a lot, and I think that they're going to be able to make it work here. Obviously, Tommy Henry threw phenomenal last night. Did have him in DraftKings. Shout out Tommy Henry. But I think that you're going to see the top end of the Arizona bullpen yet, because they didn't really have to throw him yesterday. And if the bullpen does come in and they're holding that lead, and if they're keeping them close, I think even if Colorado jumps out early on Zach Davies, we could see them trying to use those better guys because they really haven't had to throw these last 2 days. So really like this spot, minus 109 on DraftKings. I'm pulling up play number 2 here. We are heading over to FanDuel for this one, guys. Really like this plus money spot. Jesus Luzardo, 5 strikeouts. Reed Detmers under 5.5 Ks. Again, guys, Detmers doing most of the work at minus 158. I know there are some people who like to play those types of lines, minus 140s and stuff like that. That's not the way I do it. I'd rather find my way to getting around plus money if I can. And Luzardo, one of my favorite guys in the league to watch. The dude is just phenomenal. And I talked about it. The Padres have been terrible, absolutely terrible lately. Over the last 2 weeks in the same sample size that I was using the other teams there, they are 8th worst in terms of OPS. They are 2nd worst behind only the Oakland Athletics in terms of batting average. They're batting 194, guys. Right? That is terrible, right? That's 2nd worst. And the Brewers are 197, right? The Brewers have been terrible too. And the Brewers have actually been better than San Diego. Luzardo obviously has elite stuff. 2 pitches that are 44 and 48% whiff percentage. What I really like here in this matchup is how many righties we're going to face, right? And that's what Luzardo does well. That 44% whiff rate on the changeup is pretty close to exclusively against right-handed batters. The slider is on both sides, right? I mean, it's good against both, but I mean, you're going to have quite a few righties in this one. You have Hyun-Sung Kim at the top. You're going to have obviously Tatis, who's been swinging and missing like crazy. I think the only guys you're really going to have to be worried about is probably, right, I don't even know if they'll start Cronenworth because lefty on lefty and he can't hit them, but honestly, the splits are kind of ish reversed. In terms of swings and misses. I'm going to pull up their lineup at the moment. They got Kim. Oh, they are moving Cronenworth down. You got Bogarts in there. They got, this is a really bad lineup, guys. This is a really bad lineup. It just came out a little bit ago. I really like the spot. I think Luzardo is going to absolutely mow down. And I really, really like the swings and misses that he has when he is in the zone, right? A huge step forward in terms of that. Obviously went from 11 2 years ago to 9 last year to 7 this year. Expected ERA similar to his actual ERA, which is good. Heading over to Reed Detmers, facing off against Houston. I kind of am buying into the swing back for Houston. They're 10th over the last 2 weeks in OPS. That's a huge step forward after the start of the year where they've really sucked. Honestly, a little bit more of reverse splits in terms of power for Reed Detmers. And you're going to have a lot of that here, right? You got Jordan, you got Tucker. And then obviously at the top of this order, you still got Bregman, you still got Altuve. This lineup, when healthy, is very, very tough to really get through, right? Jeremy Pena in that 2-hole. This lineup's really deep. Even the bottom guys like Jake Myers, you got Diaz as a catcher, right? There's a lot of these guys that are just good hitters, right? And you expect that regression to come, especially when it's proven, right? The track record there for a lot of these top guys are proven. The numbers haven't shown it yet. Detmers, again, 4.93 ERA, about a 9.5% walk rate. His strikeout rate has just surprisingly jumped 6% this year, which honestly, I don't expect that to continue. I really don't. I don't understand anything that's really happening here because his K rate has jumped up 6%. His hard hit has jumped up 6%, right? And you have an Astros team here who I think is going to be, if they're able to put this ball in play, it's going to be a long day for Detmers, right? We're going to have a lot of walks. Astros over the last 15, top 10 in walks over here, and strikeout rate around 25%. And we look at these numbers here for the whiff rates on these, right? Nothing too crazy outside of that curveball. That curveball pretty much exclusively to righties, but that's obviously his best pitch. You look at it, 42% whiff rate, but fastball has a 309 batting average against. Changeup, 429 batting average against. The expected batting averages on these pitches are getting smoked. And I think that if they're able to put the breaking balls in play, which a lot of these guys have good numbers against breaking balls, I expect Detmers to be in there quick and out of there, right? Quick leash. I've seen his numbers at like 17.5 for outs. I like the under there. I think the Astros are going to make them work. And I think we're going to see a Astros special here, maybe only 3 or 4 runs off them, but we're going to see him into the 80s in that 4th inning and maybe even get him out of there in that 5th. So love the Detmers under here. Love Luzardo as well to come through over on FanDuel to go along with Chris Sale under 18.5 outs and Connor Siebel to not record a win, -109. So thank you guys. Appreciate you guys. Always love your support. You guys are the best. And let's crush this slate. Full day of MLB.